clipping earlier that it was mentioned that artificial EMFs, they impact us. My second story deals with something called as EMRs or EMFs, electromagnetic radiations or electromagnetic fields. Today, each one of us absorbs as much EMRs in 30 seconds as our grandparents absorbed in their entire lives. This is a very important data to come to terms with. And it's increasing continuously. And now with 5G, I cannot even talk about what we are going to say, land up with. But in past 10 years, it is said that the amount of EMR that we are exposed to has increased 1 trillion times. And what Environment Health Trust has said is immediate need for precautionary approach to protect the public. And this is not only affecting us, it affects all living beings. And this is a species that I saw in my childhood. We hardly see it now. Many of these birds are getting extinct. So there is a small video talking about this.
Something surrounds you, bombards you, some of which you can't see, touch, or even feel. Every day, everywhere you go. It is odorless and tasteless, yet you use it and depend on it every hour of every day. Without it, the world you know could not exist. What is it? Electromagnetic radiation. This spectrum is the foundation of the information age and of our modern world. Your radio, remote control, text message, television, microwave oven, even a doctor's X-ray, all depend on waves within the electromagnetic spectrum. So, as you sit watching TV, not only are there visible light waves from the TV striking your eyes, but also radio waves transmitting from a nearby station, and microwaves carrying cell phone calls and text messages, and waves from your neighbor's Wi-Fi, and GPS units in the cars driving by. There is a chaos of waves from all across the spectrum passing through your room right now. With all these waves around you, how can you possibly watch your TV show? Similar to tuning a radio to a specific radio station, our eyes are tuned to a specific region of the EM spectrum and can detect energy with wavelengths from 400 to 700 nanometers. The visible...
I agree with this, but I also disagree with this. I agree that a visible spectrum is seen by us, but what's also happening is that there is an invisible spectrum which is felt by our cells, and you are aware of that. We have infrared heating systems, and we know that sun gives UV light, which generates our hormones. So it's the entire spectrum of EMRs affects our cellular mechanism. And this is something that is very important. And I want to just, it's not a live audience. I cannot see a raise of hands, but in all my talks, I have seen when I ask this question, how many of us have experienced that, we leave the car and we forget whether we have locked it or not? That instantaneous loss of memory. You pick up your phone and suddenly you forget whom you wanted to make a call to. Or you enter a room and suddenly you forget why you had entered that room. This is becoming a very common phenomenon over the years. And if you see this article in a journal way back in 1990, which said that the cause of Alzheimer's or the eventuality of Alzheimer's and autism increases by 3 to 4 times due to exposure to EMF. And this was done way back in 1990 when even cellular revolution hadn't even started. And we are now feeling the impact of it in real time. Look at this blood analysis. On the left-hand side is the way our RBCs, they carry the oxygen. That they are the way they are on the left-hand side without exposure to EMR or the cell phone. And after 5 minutes of cell phone usage, they take the shape on the right-hand side. That means they join together. There's a Rolio formation. Now, the moment they join together, their surface area reduces and the ability to exchange oxygen drastically falls down. This is the MRA test, and you see these are the slices, the section and elevations of our brain. On the left-hand side is the brain showing the state of blood vessels. And you see a lot of yellow. And yellow is good, healthy. And just after exposure to EMR, it turns to what it is on the right-hand side, which is red and black, which is unhealthy. This is a data of response of residents living in vicinity of a cellular phone. This is from France. I've got an Indian data also. But you see, fatigue, headaches, difficulty in concentrations, memory loss, depression, feeling of discomfort, they reduce drastically the moment we move far away from the source of EMR. And this is very important, that an independent study in Sweden concluded that there was an astonishing 420% increase in chance of getting brain cancer for cell phone users who were teenagers or younger when they started using the phone. And there are many, many schools in Europe which have banned Wi-Fi in schools. And you can see this website below, or you can also, I've put a blog on my website also, which gives reference to all these white papers and these sites which will tell you more about this, because this is not an information that comes very easily upfront in the public domain. But some thoughts from this story is the original purpose of building was to protect human beings from danger of weather, wild animals, and even fellow human beings. That's how it all started. How can building in 21st century play a similar role to protect us from new age danger of man-made radiations? And does it also involve a relook into our lifestyle and personal choices? Let me move to story number 3, which is also my favorite story. Water is a fluid computer, and if water could talk.
Water has memory. Experiments done in many countries around the world have shown that water receives and makes an imprint of any outside influence, remembering everything that occurs in the space that surrounds it. As it records information, water acquires new properties, yet its chemical composition remains unchanged.
The structure of water is much more important than the chemical composition.
The structure of water means how its molecules are organized. We can see how water molecules join together into groups. These are called clusters. Scientists came up with the idea that these clusters work as memory cells of a certain sort, in which water records the whole history of its relationship with the world, as if on magnetic tape.
People don't think when you turn on the light, the water is changing. When you turn on the electric field from the power lines, the water may change. So that is the direction of research.
The water, of course, remains water, but its structure, like a nervous system, reacts to any irritation. The stability of the cluster structures confirm the hypothesis that water is capable of recording and storing information.
It may be the single most malleable computer, it's like a computer memory. It's the memory of information.
In 1995, Dr. Emoto Masaru was the first one to record musical impressions on water. In Dr. Emoto Masaru's laboratory, they allowed water to listen to music, after which they flash froze the water. And then, under the microscope, they could clearly see the crystals that the water had formed. Here's what the music of Bach looks like. Mozart, heavy rock. Somebody said, "Thank you to this water." Excuse me. You disgust me.
In nature, rivers and streams always flow along a smoothly curving course. But any water supply system has multiple right angle turns. The natural structure of the water breaks down more and more with each such turn.
Water from a water supply system which flows into our homes through pipes has various forms, crystals of various forms, but they are all deformed. That is, it may look like this. It can look like this or have these crystals in many other arrangements, but you won't see any symmetry or beauty.
Here, the water was frozen in a cryogenic chamber and photographed under the microscope. The crystals of the tap water structured water.
You know, when I learned about this aspect of water, I was really moved. And I'm going to share with you some experiment that I did recently with structured water and seed germination. So all of us are familiar with, in Navratras, we grow these seeds. So it's the same experiment I did. And 9 similar seeds were put in 2 places, and they were put at the same location, same light, same amount of water. One was given a normal tap water, the other was given a structured water. And this is how the rate of growth of the seeds has been recorded for 4th day, 6th day, on the 8th day, on the 9th day. Well, I took readings up till 9 days and then mapped them and saw that there is an amazing 50% more growth rate with the structured water, and all the 9 seeds germinated in structured water and 5 of the 9 seeds germinated in normal water. You know, these are small, I cannot say this is a conclusive experiment. These are small investigations I keep on doing because I recently, got a structured water instrument, because I've been looking for it, and such devices which are related to all aspects of bioenergetic architecture, eventually they have to form solutions for our design and building industry. So structured water unit is something that I started using. Now it's interesting that in our traditions, all traditions across the globe have got water in some way or the other. In a Vedic tradition, there are mantras which are read and holding the water. And mantras are nothing but sound energy. And those frequencies get embedded into that water. And human beings are known to be comprising of about 70% of water. And suddenly there is a resonance. It seems that our ancestors understood the ability of water as information carrier. With more than 70% of our body weight made of water, how can we integrate water in our lives in such a manner using design that its ingrained memory can energize us, besides using it for landscape or just quenching our thirst?